women, they don't have housing, they don't have their GED, they don't have community. Many of them are still deep into their addiction. They have nowhere to go. How are they going to parent a newborn? They got nothing. And how can I cheer them on to do so without doing something? The Hannah House was founded over a decade ago, and we have some exciting things in the works this next year. We are building on a beautiful foundation laid by several incredible women who poured their heart and souls into this place. I think of Linda, who birthed the idea and gave it its name. I think of Julia, who in the middle of the night would go rescue a gal from a sketchy hotel and give her a place to stay. And I think of Muriah, who would literally cry and pray over the women that she was serving. And two of these women are our current leaders. Over the next couple of months, we get to share a series of videos with you telling the stories of Hannah House women and speaking to the dreams that we have. And I am so excited and so honored to be a part of this. My passion and my heart for women really started evolving in 2009 when I was walking alongside gals who were experiencing unplanned and crisis pregnancies. Here I am cheering them and encouraging them to choose life, which I really believe is the right answer. But in the back of my head, I'm saying, they can't. How? So I started researching and looking for agencies that provided holistic care to these women. By that I mean they address the physical and they address the emotional and they address most importantly, they address the spiritual side of them. I wanted these women to desperately know Jesus. Couldn't find anything. So with the encouragement of my husband and dear friends, I started doing it. It started working out of my car. I didn't have an office. I went from a paid position to an unpaid position. I'm now 100% volunteer. The need was enormous. And my goal was to help these women not only prepare these women to parent their unborn, but to thrive in that. I wanted them to do that. And I know that long-term transformation, if we want it to stick, they have to know Jesus. And it's based on relationships. It's based on community and connection. And throughout this process, these women started to trust me and let me into their lives. And I got a glimpse of their trauma and everything they'd gone through. And man, my heart broke even more. Fast forward 6 months, it was a rodeo of a time. And I was chatting with my dear friend, Fred Nelson. He's like, I think you need to come down to CLDI. I think you need to meet the new executive director down there. His name's Eric Basye. I think you might like him. And I'm kind of looking at Fred. It's like, oh, and he goes, no, you guys are a lot alike. You're both a bit rogue. And I think you guys would make a great team.
First time I met Lisa, I was literally outside our old office doors. I was holding up these paint siding colors, trying to decide what color we should make the Hannah House. And this lady walks out and she stands there, looks, she points, she says, this is what you need to do. And she walks off. And what I didn't know at that point in time is this was Lisa Reinschmidt, who later we would spend a lot of time working together. She was doing tremendous work with these amazing women, and Fred Nelson was trying to connect us. I didn't know this, but would later get connected with her, and just to see the great alignment that we'd have with Lisa joining the mission of CLDI.
I remember it was in the fall and I was pacing up and down the sidewalk and going up and down, talking to myself. And Eric comes up to me and is like, man, what's going on? You look pretty intense out here. And I looked at him and I said, Eric, I'm praying. We need this block. We need all 4 of these houses. Right now, we can only serve 8 women and maybe 10 kids. And that's not enough. We need all the houses. We need to be able to provide services to so many women because the need is so great. And he looked at me and he said, okay, let's pray. And so we started praying. And that was 10 years ago. God has been faithful in that prayer. He has steadily opened the door and provided the means for us to buy all 4 lots. However, it wasn't without roadblocks. That last house we call it 117. That one was a stinker. Literally had a buy-sell in front of the owner, and unfortunately she passed of COVID, and that stalled me out another year and a half. And we finally purchased the house, and there's sewage in the basement. 2 feet of standing sewage in the basement. There's black mold everywhere on the walls. We have to mobilize, we relocate that family, and then we have to demo the house. It's not usable. But the beautiful thing about that is we now have a blank lot. We can do anything now. That's God's best plan. And it's worth the wait. It's worth the 10 years. It's been 10 years. God has been so faithful. After allowing us to acquire that last property that divided the entire campus, we now own all 4 lots. What does that mean? That means we get to serve over double the amount of women and children that we currently house. And that is huge. So now is the time. Let's see this dream become a reality. Join us.